Hey, what's up everybody? It's Rue the Dude, and today we'll be talking about whether the 1050 Ti is still a good GPU in Q2 of 2018, or just 2018 in general. So this overview will be taking bottlenecks into account, so for the two variants in this video, I'll be talking about the 1050 Ti with a G4560 Pentium and an i7-7700. So to start it off, we'll take a look at the performance of the 1050 Ti with just about no bottleneck. This clip is with an i7-7700. As you can see, GTA 5 with 1080p averages at roughly 50 frames per second, which is totally doable, but if you want the full 60 frames per second, you're going to want to downscale. Now let's check out another popular game, Battlefield 1, which is a game with amazing graphics. It goes beyond 60 frames per second with this custom setting here, which is surprisingly well and also tells us that the CPU and GPU can run it almost at an all ultra settings. However, this build did have 16 gigabytes of RAM, so that might be a partial explanation of the surprisingly high frame rate. Now, for a trending game that everyone wants to know how the 1050 Ti handles, Fortnite. The 1050 Ti with an i7-7700 will easily take on Fortnite, averaging 54 frames per second at ultra settings on everything at 1080p. If you want to get true 60 frames per second without any dips to 50 frames, you might want to turn down just a few settings. I know a lot of YouTubers like to turn off shadows, so if you turn off shadows, you'll definitely get amazing Fortnite performance. Now, let's have a look at the 1050 Ti paired with the cheap processor, a G4560. My reasoning for this is simple. A lot of budget gamers have been using this processor, so let's have a look at the performance. So first off, Fortnite. With all ultra settings at 1080p, you average 45 frames per second, which is okay. Like I said, with the 1050 Ti with the i7, if you turn down a few settings or completely disable shadows, you'll get a lovely 60 frames per second. On Battlefield 1, with a balance between high, ultra, and medium settings, you average 48 frames per second, which is okay. You're going to want to lower settings or downscale to achieve a consistent 60 frames per second. Also, the reasoning for the frame rate being so low on Battlefield 1 is because it's a CPU-intensive game. Since we're using a dual-core G4560, the frame drop is significant compared to the i7-7700. And finally, we have GTA 5. With a balance of very high, and ultra in the graphics settings, the CPU and GPU pair sadly only achieves 20 to 30 frames per second. This is because GTA 5, just like Battlefield 1, is very CPU intensive, and because of that, it doesn't perform well with the dual-core G4560. As a side note, if you plan to get a G4560, you should eventually upgrade. The G4560 is a 7th generation processor, so you'll upgrade to an i5-7600K or an i7-7700 for example. And that's going to do it for this video. So the answer to the question is yes, the 1050 Ti is still perfect for budget gamers in Q2 of 2018. So if you ever plan to make a gaming PC, I highly recommend you get a good CPU paired with a half-decent GPU instead of going all out and getting a G4560 paired with something like a 1080. So if you liked the video, drop a like. If you have any questions, drop a comment. And if you like the content you're seeing, subscribe. Thanks for watching. Peace out.